This was an odd story as well.
Oh, okay.
Nebraska Regents suggests putting fans' ashes under the football field. Her idea, dead on arrival. There's a play on words, but it's kind of odd. A University of Nebraska Regent has proposed a way for lifelong Cornhusker fans to carry their support into the afterlife. When Memorial Stadium undergoes its next renovation, Regent Barbara Whites of Omaha suggested building, it's called a columbarium, under the football field where departed fans can have their ashes.
And it would, of course, mean they make money off of it.
Fellow Regents laughed at the proposal at a recent meeting. She acknowledged she made her pitch lightheartedly, but didn't think any proposal should be dismissed out of hand with the university facing a $58 million budget shortfall.
See, everything's about money.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, what happens is even though it is considered illegal in most cities and most states to spread the remains, the ashes of a loved one at a public facility like a stadium, a lot of people do it anyways. They do it anyways.
Yeah, I don't think. How do you, like, I've said this. I don't know if I'm crossing a line. Please just tell me to shut up. I've told my family I'm afraid of heat and I'm claustrophobic. So when I die, I want to be stuffed and I want to be passed from generation to generation. And you can stuff me in whatever position you would like. Don't get weird. I'm saying, like, I could be standing with my arms folded. I could be catching a football. But I want to be stuffed. And if you don't want to display me in your house, you could put me in the attic.
Okay, you do realize, though, that the skin is a living organism and the skin does die.
I don't know how I'm going to get this done, but I have, and I understand I'm going to be gone when it happens, but the casket thing scares me because I'm claustrophobic and fire is not my friend.
Well,
so.
I'm claustrophobic as well, but...
Have you had thoughts on what you want?
I mean, I would probably get cremated. I don't...
Where do you want your ashes?
I don't have that place. I don't know. It hasn't struck me.
You haven't thought about it?
Not really. It hasn't really struck me yet.
We're not getting any younger.
I
Peg,
know.
the two of
Stop.
us.
I'm just waiting for something creative to come up. I don't know.
Like what kind of creation?
Something...
I thought my suggestion of being stuffed was creative.
Yeah,
creative.
like, well, maybe there's a winery in Bordeaux, France, or something.
There you go.
I don't know. It
so
hasn't
what you would want your ashes distributed there, or
could
you want to be?
Imagine
you
me
could be
in the soil?
You could be the greeter.
No, I don't want that. I don't want. Listen, I was at a medical conference in Boston with my daughter 2 weekends ago, and they talked about. I hate to say this, face transplants. Okay,
so like face off.
Face transplant.
Right, with Nicolas Cage.
And we saw pictures.
And John Travolta.
Of how they do face transplants.
I got a Nicolas Cage story for you when we come back, too. Anyway, so go ahead.
Well, and one of the issues with people that get a face transplant is the skin does die. And so it might look better after they have it.
Are we talking about elective face transplants, or for people who have had injuries or burn victims or whatever the case may be?
Yes, that's exactly the reason. But the skin does die. And so it's not, you're not going to be able to preserve your skin.
Okay, so like I can't go to the face transplant store and say, hey, can I get a Brad Pitt and just have that one put on my face?
But it is getting there where they can actually almost, if a cadaver is used and someone has given their entire body, to...
What if we just make it?
You could actually get someone's face as a transplant.
Well, why don't we just, like, you don't have to take it off of a dead body. We can create it. And we can make a machine, like a laser printer. And I can create like a Brad Pitt face and have it attached to mine.
Listen, would you rather want a new face or a new body?
Probably a new body.
Exactly.
Maybe I get both.
Yeah.
No?
I wouldn't. Not a new face. I'd rather want a new body.
When we get back from this break, I want to know how you want to address your immortality.
I don't I don't like this topic.
That's why I'm asking.
But I know. It makes me extremely uncomfortable.
I think that's when most people are most creative, is when they're really uncomfortable.
I sprinkle my ashes somewhere, but I'd rather something like being in the soil of the next great Bordeaux vintage? Seriously?
Really?
I would then I would be a part of it.
Okay.
Unless they came out and said it was the worst vintage ever in Bordeaux history.
What if you were you soured the soil?
That would really suck.
All right, when we come back, I think you have a plain story with a former NFL player.
That's going to be part of my, but I was going to use that for my, the good, the bad, and the dirty.
Okay, well, then we'll skip that. I have a story about mystery travel, Costco's apocalypse dinner, and also something called raw dogging.
I know all about this. I had to ask my kids about it.
Okay,
You're not going to believe what it is.
I'm going to bring you these 3 stories when we come back. The odder exchanges I've seen in quite some time. Justin Podger just looked at you and go, hey, Peggy, have you ever watched Love Island? You got to watch it.
Immediately.
So good. So good.
I don't think I would like it.
I thought this was going to be an explicit story because I didn't understand the term.
Yeah. Okay.
The dangers of raw dogging on a plane.
Uh-huh.
I thought when I saw the term raw dogging, I was going to go somewhere that I didn't want to go and probably couldn't bring to the audience. Here's why experts are warning against this bizarre trend, which I've never heard of. Experts have ripped the viral raw dogging trend, claiming it would be unhealthy to go without creature comforts on a long-haul flight. For the uninitiated, raw dogging refers to flyers forgoing in-flight entertainment, including movies, as well as avoiding necessities, such as food, water, and sleep. In short, raw doggers, most of whom are men, spend the hours up in the air staring blankly into space. But travel experts say it isn't actually a healthy way to decompress. Why is that a thing?
It is so stupid. I heard this on Black and Abdallah a couple of weeks ago. And I asked my son, who is currently traveling through Asia, and he's in Vietnam right now. I asked him if he was going to raw dog his flight to Hong Kong or to Bangkok. And he started laughing. And he said, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's exactly what you think. If you Google it and you see the pictures and the images on Instagram and TikTok, these guys literally sitting there staring straight ahead with their eyes, not sleeping, staring straight ahead.
No thanks. What's it for?
To prove that you can.
It's dumb.
It's basically like a meditation, I think, to be honest
sound
with
like
you.
meditation.
But why would you not drink water or have anything to eat? It doesn't make any sense. Did you think it meant going commando?
I didn't know what it meant, to be honest with you. I was a little uncomfortable when I saw it, but I figured we'd roll with it. So.
Yeah.
What was your, you had an interesting travel story that you wanted to keep, okay? Can you give us a little tease?
Oh.
For good, bad, and dirty?
It was my travel story. It's not my travel story. Instead, it is, have you ever ordered food and it wasn't delivered, but they insist it was delivered, and you have to track it down to find out who did they accidentally deliver it to, and then have you ever confronted them?
So that's going to be for good, bad, and dirty. Okay,
that's going to be my good, bad, dirty.
How about this? As somebody who is a world traveler, I consider you a world traveler.
Yes.
When you say that?
Yes.
You enjoy traveling.
Absolutely.
Mystery travel trend keeps your destination a secret until the last minute, and people are paying big dollars for the privilege.
That's a big,
not interested in me. This is
a big deal.
Rather than planning their own adventures, flexible folks are outsourcing the job to an agent. A travel agent who books flights, hotels, restaurant reservations, and the works without their knowledge. All voyagers, all they need to do is give a few broad location preferences and show up at an airport on time. Service here, they start at $2,300 for 3 nights and 2 people. And they can go up from that, the cost. Would you be interested in doing something like
Yes. I would call it not just a voyager, I would call it voyeurism. Because there is definitely something titillating about pack your bags. You don't know where you're going. This is the only thing I'll tell you to bring. And then you truly have no idea where you are headed.
I could sign up for that if it was like my wife Cara decided, hey, we're going to go on a trip, and I'm not going to tell you where it is.
Right.
But if it's not my spouse designing the trip and scheduling the trip, I'd be more than a little apprehensive, because how do I know that this well-intentioned travel agent is going to send me somewhere where I will like or not like?
Well, I would think that you have to fill out your interests, places you would like to go, places you have traveled in the past, so that they can narrow down some ideas of maybe somewhere that you haven't been but falls in line with the places that you like to go, and how you like to travel. What level of comfort do you like? Are you okay with a Airbnb? Could you
They
ever
have all
do
kinds
a
of
hostel?
cameras in those things these days, don't they?
I don't
The
know.
Airbnbs.
I thought that they're not allowed to.
I think that the privacy issues are something that people are talking about now.
And could you ever stay in a hostel? In some areas across the world, hostels are not what you think they are. They're actually very nice. And a lot of Europeans are used to traveling that way. So I would think that you have to fill out those types of interests.
But you're game for this.
I would definitely be game for that.
And they'll
Yes.
send you to the North Pole.
Well, if it had a restaurant, a top 100 restaurant in the world, I don't think I could do the North Pole. No. I did see one of those travel things where they actually stay in one of those bubbles in the North Pole. That would freak me out. That would give me claustrophobia.
Claustrophobia?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, I don't have time for anything else.